Turn up your mics. It's the C word.
What would be really interesting about people who will listen to this podcast, obviously you have your own massive fan following, but for someone who's relatively new to the industry, where I think it's the beginning of a journey.
It's very much like a niche, like it's a culture. The cannabis culture is kind of also divided into niches itself. So you've got, cannabis users, which there's many, many of, many millions and millions. And then cannabis growers, of which there's a lot fewer. There's maybe, I don't know what the stats are, but maybe 1 in 100 people that use cannabis are a grower, not so many grow. But I'd like to encourage people to grow their own, because I started doing that when I was like 18. I think I planted when I was 18, and my birthday's in the summer, harvested when I was 19. I tried dabbling with planting a few when I was like 15 and 16, but they didn't make it past that, But when I harvested my first proper bud, it was when I was 19. And then I just couldn't look back. I was like, wow, I'm not buying from shady people. There's lots of people that are into it just because it's, something that anybody can get into. There's no barriers to entry. When it's illegal, it's kind of equal opportunity, Anybody can do it illegally. You don't have to buy a license or all that stuff, right? So I just always thought it was kind of, even though it was prohibited, prohibition's like the furthest extreme of regulation, So when you talk about regulating cannabis, well, prohibition is a failure of regulation. They tried to prohibit it. That was the rule. Didn't work. Made it more popular than ever. If they'd never said anything about it, it would still just be like echinacea. It would just be another herb with various effects, and there's so many medicinal plants and ethnobotanicals, there's so many plants that can affect your conscious, and yet cannabis really got singled out, and it's been such a, it's really a benevolent herb, there's so much upside, and it really had a lot of industrial uses as hemp. So, the lobby to make it illegal, when that was happening 100 years ago, that was really pushed by big paper companies like Kimberly-Clark that owned all this forest to make newsprint. Harvesting hemp became much more efficient, and processing it became much more efficient, where it used to be retted in the fields, and then there was decorticating machine invented. It, sped up the processing. So the cotton growers didn't like it. The first pair of Levi's jeans they were cut from hemp sails. Canvas is the Dutch bastardization of the word cannabis. That's what canvas means, right? So canvas sails, they cut out the jeans from those in San Francisco and made these jeans that lasted for 20 years. The cotton jeans, couple of years. If you're, panning for gold, those cotton jeans wear out pretty quick. So the cotton growers, they stood to get rid of hemp. The synthesizing dynamite from petrochemicals replaced hemp cellulose dynamite, which was a DuPont thing. So they wanted to get rid of hemp, and then you start looking at the alcohol, the tobacco, the pharmaceuticals. Like cannabis was a pharmaceutical medicine to treat 100 ailments 100 years ago. They took that off the shelves,
Turn up your mics. It's the C word.